And with the solar eclipse this year, there's been a lot of talk about the sun. And soon, a NASA spacecraft is going to make a historic approach to our blazing hot star. We have Dr. Adam Szabo, a NASA mission scientist for Parker's Solar Probe, with us to explain. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We are days away from a historic moment. Can you tell us about the NASA spacecraft that's going to make history by touching our star?
I'm very happy to. Parker Solar Probe was launched in 2018, 6 years ago, on a mission to get as close to the sun as we can get. On the 24th, Christmas Eve, early in the morning, Parker Solar Probe finally will reach its closest approach to the sun, which is 3.8 million miles from Earth, from the sun. It sounds maybe a lot, but it is 20 times closer to the sun than Earth is, well within the orbit of Mercury. This is the closest man-made spacecraft ever managed to get to the sun. We have been planning this mission for over 50 years. It required 7 encounters with Venus, the planet, to change its orbit, to reduce it so that we can get close to the sun. This is a mission that has been in the planning for so long to answer one of the last remaining questions, namely how the solar wind, the upper atmosphere of the sun, gets accelerated into supersonic speeds and get heated over 1 million degrees in temperature.
So you guys have really been planning this for a lifetime. There's still so much we don't know about the sun. What else are you hoping to learn from this Parker Solar Probe?
So besides understanding the acceleration and the heating of the solar wind itself, the sun is not a tame giant. It is the source of big explosions, flares, coronal mass ejections that once they reach, for example, Earth, it can negatively impact our technological society, satellites. It can cause, besides the beautiful aurora, it can cause GPS signal problems. It can cause power outages. So we really want to understand how these disturbances, these transients in the sun, behave, how do they propagate from the sun to Earth so that we can forecast them better.
Wow, that's really interesting. As a scientist, what are you most excited for on December 24th?
I have been researching the solar wind for over 30 years. This is the culmination of a long research path to get to the point when we collect measurements where the solar wind does its acceleration. Its location, just like in everything else. We need to get close to the sun where all the physical processing takes place, and so we can measure the local magnetic fields, the particle environment, so that we can construct reliable and accurate models and understanding of the processes.
It's been really interesting. You know, so many people watched the total solar eclipse, and one of the things we were just showing video of those flares, the solar flares, the pink and the red things you kind of saw around the sun as a layman person on that day. And then also the northern lights, those storms that brought us the northern lights, even in Florida. I understand the Parker is going to study the cause behind of all of this activity.
Correct. That is one of our primary science objectives with the mission, to actually go to the birthplace of these coronal mass ejections, to see them when they are still in, they are youngsters or baby pictures for them, so that we can better understand how they develop into the big giant structures that can negatively impact technology and society here on Earth.
And I understand you guys are going to be continuing to explore the sun. What does NASA have planned next?
Parker Solar Probe, of course, continues to operate. We just reached our final orbit, so this is just our first encounter, and we will continue orbiting around the sun, returning to this same close approach every 88 days. But besides that, NASA has other missions lined up coming. So for example, next year we will launch the Punch mission. These are 4 birds flying near each other, taking stereoscopic pictures of again near the sun, the solar corona, where Parker Solar Probe is flying. So we are hoping to be able to reconstruct the three-dimensional structure of all the magnetic field lines and all the particles flowing around.
Doctor, thanks so much for your time today. I'm really personally excited for you. You've been studying this for more than 30 years. I hope things go very well for you on the 24th.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolutely exciting Christmas.
Congratulations. And for more information, you can go to nasa.gov/Parker and nasa.gov/sun.